Hey guys, and welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be talking about One Piece, chapter 946, and oh boy, was this a big one. So it was all in the Udon prison at this point, I think. I don't think it went anywhere else. Either way, it was a really pretty exciting chapter, if you ask me. So first of all, we're just going whole hog with Big Mom fighting Queen. She is roughing him up, throwing him around. Some of the people are kind of like, they're not surprised because she is a Yonko, but like, it's clear that everybody's like freaked out because Queen was supposed to be really, really tough. I think they said that he has a 1.3 billion berry bounty. He is one of like Kaido's big like people. So clearly it would take a Yonko to take him down. And Big Mom does this very effortlessly. She basically just tosses him aside. She throws him into the ground a couple of times, and then she like tosses him aside as he like degrades back into his normal form. It's a pretty impressive show of force from her. In all of this, we got a couple of things happening in the kind of, I guess courtyard, however you would want to call it. Kid and Killer get freed from their watery prison because everything's just kind of going to shit. And so they fall out, they're coughing, and Luffy's like, hey, you guys okay? And, oh well, I honestly can't say I care about Kid and Killer. While all this is going on, you got Raizo and Caribou, which I honestly never, ever thought that Caribou would be important to the story ever again. It's kind of crazy that Oda has brought him back for anything. I feel like he could have thought of a new character and had the same, maybe not the same power, but like had a similar ability to do things. It's just really weird that Caribou is so important at this point. Anyways, you got him and Raizo kind of heading toward, they gotta find the keys to everyone so that they can unlock everybody's cells, get everybody out so that they can rally them against Kaido eventually. So they gotta do that. Also, it would be helpful if they could take out the transponder snails for the area of Udon so that they could just do whatever they need to do. None of the people at the prison can call for help. All of that goodness, and Caribou knows where it is because he's been at the prison for a while, and on top of that, he has a good understanding of how the transponder snails work in Wano. Basically how it goes is that their transponder snails are a little bit weaker, so they have to go through a big like boss transponder snail so that the signals can reach where they need to go, and if you get rid of the boss transponder snail, all those signals have nothing. So that's what they do. Caribou takes out the boss transponder snail, so none of the guards can call for help. They're trying to figure out what Kaido wants them to do with Big Mom running amok, and it's just a huge mess for Kaido's crew. Meanwhile, Raizo's like, oh, I gotta find the keys so I can get Kawamatsu out, and we're gonna do all that. It's okay, though, because Kawamatsu's cell has been broken open. He has not come out yet, but everybody's like, hey, that's the cell that never opens. The guy's probably either chained up or dead in there, right? We probably don't have to worry about that. Kawamatsu's gonna come out either the next chapter or the chapter after that, and he's gonna be badass. Or maybe he won't be, and it'll be all like fluff, and they've just been building him up to be nothing. In any event, Big Mom has taken down Queen. She's heading towards the Oshiruko, and she finally gets her hands on it. Meanwhile, all the guards and like lower people that know that it's already been eaten due to them trying to hide it from Queen, they're all like, oh, this is gonna be really troublesome. She takes off the lid. It is completely empty. There's just a ladle inside, which makes me wonder, what is the Oshiruko? Is it like, so they made it sense that it's like, oh, it's like this like giant pot of food, but was it like a soup or like some kind of like liquid, or was it, it's got a ladle in there, so it's got to be something. So Big Mom takes a look in this jar and it's empty, and she suddenly just goes not depressed, but her face turns dark and she is just like starting to boil up on the inside, and it only gets worse because Luffy's a freaking idiot and says, oh man, that Oshiruko is really good. I feel bad for her that she can't have any. And Luffy is such an idiot. He thought those things instead of saying them out loud, and Old Man Kyo's like, shut up. You literally just said that out loud, and now Big Mom is going to be pissed, and she is very pissed. And not just because she wanted to eat it. So she eventually goes after Luffy because he ate the Oshiruko, But she, like, kind of exclaims that she wanted to bring back the Oshiruko to that town where they fed and they helped her and all that, or whatever. Leftover town, was it? I don't know where they... Either way, she wanted to bring back the Oshiruko to, like, help feed them and share it with everybody. So that says a lot about her, like, personality, now that she's lost her memories. She's a really weird and complex character. So she goes after Luffy. She is freaking pissed, and she is destroying the ground. She's punching at him. He can dodge and bring Old Man Hyo with him, but, like, they're stuck in the circle because they still have the collars on. And if they leave that, they are dead. The problem is that Big Mom is destroying the circle little by little, and they eventually get stuck on a little, like, sliver of it just before the circle, and they've already heard their, like, kind of warning beeps. Eventually, they have to kind of jump out of the way and out of the circle, and at that point, it's do or die moment. Luffy takes Old Man Hyo's collar and just starts trying to, like, rip it off, and eventually he gets both of their collars off. But it's a little confusing because, like, the ability that he was working on with Old Man Hyo and training or whatever is like a hockey, it's like a force push almost. And in this, I'm not sure I see it, but Old Man Hyo kind of alludes to the idea that he, like, used it to get the collars off, or at least away from them. So it's a little confusing to me, but he does get the collars off, they explode, and they are free to go, with the exception of Big Mom tracking them down. The last part of the chapter is Big Mom bearing down over Luffy and Old Man Hyo, and Old Man Hyo's like, hey, you used that ability to get the collars off, remember that, now you're gonna have to protect me and use it against Big Mom. Here is my question about this. So, with or without it, is Luffy good enough to fend off Big Mom, even in her, like, even if she's not the Big Mom, mentally anyways, is she, like, even... It's just a whole thing. She took down Queen effortlessly, even with her mental state kind of different. And is Luffy, even if he uses the new version of hockey that he's learning, is that going to be enough to kind of force her back? Especially when she's super angry about the Oshiruko. I am super pumped for the next chapter, and I have a feeling that Oda's going to jump back to, like, Sanji and Zoro and all that, and then completely leave us in the dust with this. I have a feeling we're going to be jumping there, and it's going to be like, oh, man, what's going on with Luffy? But yeah, this chapter was, like, kind of freaking intense. It was a lot of action, and ultimately kind of felt a little short in that matter, but that's only really because there were a lot of, like, Big Mom rampaging, and I really enjoyed it a lot, actually. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this chapter. We got some good setups for the next chapter, or the next time they come back to this whole situation. Kawamatsu might come out, and Luffy is presumably going to use the new Rio, or whatever it's called in Wano, the new version of hockey, and it's gonna be really cool. On top of that, we gotta learn... Okay, so Queen is down. He's not totally unconscious because he heard Luffy say that he ate the Oshiruko. So I'm interested to see if he gets back up and eventually, like, it's a three-way match between Luffy, Big Mom, and Queen. I think that could be a really hype fight. But again, I have a feeling that we'll be jumping to a totally different thing, and we won't see that for at least a couple of weeks. I could be wrong. I hope I am. In any event, I enjoyed this chapter a ton. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll get all the notifications when I upload. I will see you guys in another video. So long!